Hello, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me here this morning on Narcissism 101 Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's having a good Tuesday morning so far. Over here in London, it's very snowy. There's a lot of traffic out there, so I advise you guys to keep yourself safe out there. Be careful out there, depending on where you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Before I get into what we're going to talk about, if you'd like a one-on-one session, as usual, please email me, paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com, or you can send a text message to 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you need more advice, if you're trying to figure out whether you're dealing with the narcissist or not, or if you just have some questions for me about any of the content that I provide here, please feel free to reach out. What I will say is if you do want to call, though, just let me know that it's you first. If you just call me, I may just block the number just because I just don't answer just random numbers. But if you want to call, just send a text to the number. Let me know your name. Let me know that you've been watching my videos, and I'll be more than happy to get the help that you need. Sound good? All right, perfect. Okay, so what we are going to talk about today is the title of this video is You Will Have to Find Your Own People. Yes, I need to make a video about this because this is very important, especially if you're still healing, if you're still trying to really get to grips as to everything that has happened in your life. The thing is that you are going to have to find your own people. And truth be told, this is what narcissists don't want. The narcissist does not want you to heal. The narcissist in your life narcissist in your life, they don't want you to move forward in life, right? Because they still want control over you. Notice how some people, when you talk to them again, or let's say you haven't talked to a person in many years, for example, let's say it's been like 10 years, or let's say it's been 5 years, let's say it's been since high school, and now you guys are in your 30s, you're in your 40s, and you're all grown up. And let's say that you go back and you meet them. Let's say you see them on social media. Let's say that you see them in the store, something like that. It doesn't matter. You can choose whatever you want. And let's say that, for some reason, they're not treating you the same way. They're not treating you with respect. They disrespect you. They're making fun of you. They still treat you like you guys are still in high school. Well, the truth is that that's because they're still hung up. Let's say hung up on the version that you were in high school. They don't recognize the person that you are now. See, and that's what narcissists are. Narcissists are stuck in the past. Narcissists love the past because they know that most people will want to just move, well, normal, healthy, stable people, that is, those people want to just move on and enjoy their lives. But see, narcissists are stuck in the versions of people who they were before. And that's why narcissists can never move on. The disorder in their mind, where the empathy part of their brain is missing, does not allow for them to move on in life. And that's why they're stuck. That's why narcissists do not change. That's why relationships with them don't improve. They only get worse and worse and worse over time. And that is why for this video, what I'm saying is you will have to find your people, meaning that you will have to really take a look at the people you surround yourself with. And these are people perhaps within your religious organization and communities. This is people that you go to school with. This is people that you go to work with. These are people who are in your family. These are people who are your friend, who are your close friends, or people whom you're just getting to know. You will have to find your own people. And one thing that's really important to note about people in general is to test people's loyalty, to see if they're actually there for you, is to really get to understand, how people are when times get hard. This is when you will really see people's true colors. This is when you will really see if people are who they say that they are. Because many times people will say one thing, but then they will do another thing. Right? And that's why I've said in one of my other videos that's really underrated about narcissists, the number one biggest sign you're dealing with the narcissist is if the relationship always feels one-sided, where you feel like you are giving everything and the other person is you're giving like 90%, and then the other person is giving maybe 10% or nothing. And then when they do the bare minimum, they act as if they are giving more than you are giving, right? And that's and that's actually gaslighting, because what they're essentially doing is they're trying to make you doubt yourself. They're trying to make you question if you're actually giving anything at all, because narcissists have a God complex, a superiority complex, where they believe that they are better than everybody else, where they believe that they have to be better than everybody else. See, a normal stable person, or maybe a toxic person who maybe has some challenges, they will see that, you know, people, they will get to grips, and they will understand that, okay, you know, I can only be better at this person for so much. And then after a while, what they will do is but see, the difference is that narcissists lack empathy, right? That's what makes them different from normal everyday toxic people who maybe have a challenge or something like that, is that narcissists cannot empathize, right? They need to be better than everybody else. And they will do anything that they can to make it seem like they're better than everybody else. Whether that's, you know, if it's at work, if they want to make it seem as though they're better than everyone else, they will actually throw people under the bus just to prove that they can be better than the other person. Whether that person's in line for a promotion, they will try to undercut that person and go smear campaign that person behind their backs, telling flat out lies that this person isn't eligible for the promotion, this person isn't who they say that they are, this person isn't good at their job. And then before you know it, that person doesn't get promoted, or that person maybe gets fired from their job. And then the narcissist stays in their job, but it's just a matter of time before people start to see that narcissistic person for who they actually are, right? And so what I'm saying for this video is that you will have to find your people, right? You'll need to figure out who should be in your life and who should not be in your life. Now, I understand not everybody's perfect. And again, not everybody's a narcissist. But a good indicator is to see who is there for you when times are hard. Now, I want to put a little disclaimer here, because, you know, sometimes people just don't have the capacity to help you. And that's understandable, because many times, you know, people don't have the answers for you. Many times people just don't know how to help you because they don't understand what it is that you are going through. So that's understandable, right? But what I'm saying is that people should learn how to be respectful of other people's experiences. If people can't just listen to you and just be there for you and just be a listening ear for you when you're going through something, at least just listen to what you have to say. And if they just walk away from you and just make it seem like you're the one that's crazy without even giving some thought to what you have to say, then you know that that person is not your person. And again, you have to understand, these people can even be your family members too, because what we need to know is that not all blood is good blood. That's what I'm going to say for this video. Not all blood is good blood, right? Just because they're your family, your brother or your sister or your aunt, your uncle, your father or your mother, just because they're that, it doesn't mean that they are for you, right? Because the thing is that those closest to you can do the most damage to you. And that is because those closest to you know the most about you, because they grew up with you. They know the most about you, right? But just because they know about you doesn't mean that it gives them a right to be disrespectful to you, to invalidate you, to throw you under the bus, to laugh at you to your face and laugh at you behind your back, and then get other family members to gang up on you, aka gang stalk you and shift the blame onto you and blame shift you. It doesn't give anybody the right to do that, right? And so this is why I'm saying for this video, you will have to find your people. Especially post narcissistic experience, when the narcissist discarded you, like if your marriage just ended suddenly just like that, like you came home and your house was empty, or you came home and there was a note on your desk, or you opened up your phone and out of nowhere there's a text in your phone that's the same length as your phone, and this person never loved you and all that. Well, however the relationship or the marriage ended, or if it's a family member, they just stopped talking to you and said, I'm going to stop talking to you, and you're not a good brother, you're not a good sister, or it's one of your parents that, you know, that they just make it seem as though they want nothing to do with you. They stop answering your calls. They start giving you the respect that they said that they will give you when they said the beginning of your life that we will always be here for you. You're a very good son. You're a very good daughter. We will always be there for you. But through their actions, they don't show that they actually respect you. Then that's how you know that these people are not for you, right? Now, here's the thing. It's not a bad thing. The fact that they are not there for you is not a bad thing. All it means is that their behavior says a lot about them and it says nothing about you. Because you have to remember, narcissists are jealous and envious of everyone. Even other narcissists. If a narcissist encounters another narcissist, they're jealous and envious of them. Because narcissists, remember, narcissists are also always competing with each other, and so they want to make it seem as though they are better at their skill set of being a narcissist. And if that narcissist is better than them, then they want nothing to do with that narcissist, because narcissists, they believe that they are better than everybody else. They're always competing, right? So it's a no-win situation when you're dealing with narcissists, right? And so what you need to understand is you're gonna have to find your people, right? And you will know whether these people are for you or not. Now, I need to put another disclaimer here. Just because when you're getting to know a person, they may not answer your calls, they may not answer your texts, right away, or they may take days to respond, that does not mean that they are a narcissist. Sometimes it could be that they maybe have a busy life. Maybe they're going through something. Maybe it's just they're still getting to know you and to decide whether they're for you or not. It doesn't mean that they're a narcissist. So don't just think that just because you're meeting someone and the fact that they don't respond to you, or the fact that they don't communicate the same way you do, it doesn't mean necessarily that they are a narcissist. Although sometimes it could mean that if it's been days or weeks or months or sometime they just pop up and it doesn't feel authentic and it doesn't feel genuine, then you know that person is probably not for you, right? But what I say, and this is something that you guys on my channel are gonna have to learn post narcissistic experience, if they discarded you or if you ended the relationship yourself. What you're gonna have to learn is that you're gonna have to take your time, right? Go slow, get to know people slowly, right? Don't just rush into a relationship. Don't just rush into a marriage just because you feel alone or just because you're trying to fill that void of loneliness. Don't do that, right? Because then what you're doing is you're showing that person how to treat you, right? You're showing that person that you do not have boundaries. You are showing that person that they can just walk all over you, and then you're going to go backwards again, right? And that person could potentially be a narcissist, right? If they just reel you in and then they treat you like nothing, right? I've seen this time and time again where people, they don't take time to get to know people. They just rush into things, right? And that's something that we all have to learn, after post-narcissism, and learn about narcissists themselves. Is that narcissists, one thing you will notice about narcissists is that they like to rush things. They like to get into the thing fast. Remember, I made a video. If you're new to my channel, go watch that video entitled "Lust is Fast and Love is Slow." It's because narcissists, they lust. They don't love, because they don't have love in them. They want to have everything in the blink of an eye in their hands. They believe that they are entitled to have everything, right? So that's another way you'll know that you're dealing with a narcissist, is if it just feels like it's going too fast. It feels like things are going a little bit too fast. What I mean by that is that they're asking you too many questions, to get to know you too fast. They don't really want to get to know you for you, right? It's like it's going too fast, right? So what I would say is take it very slow. Get to know them slow, right? Don't think that within a year or two, and people debate me on this, people disagree with me on this. I believe that the maximum amount of time that a person should get to know a person before things get serious is about 5 years. And I say 5 years because 5 years you've done your reconnaissance and you've known enough about the person. 1 to 2 years is good, but I think that within 1 to 2 years, a lot can change within 1 to 2 years, because 1 to 2 years goes by very fast like that, right? But 5 years feels like a lot. 5 years feels like a long time. And then by then you have a really, really good sense. And by then you know you've done your due diligence, right? So that's what I'm saying. You will have to find your own people, right? You're gonna have to understand that not everybody is for you, right? Just because somebody that you've gotten to know isn't for you doesn't mean that doesn't mean that they won't be for somebody else, right? Just because your marriage ended, right, doesn't mean that another relationship can't have the potential to go into marriage, right? So that's why I'm saying you need to find your people, right? You need to get to know people for who they are and not for who you want them to be, right? And that's why we have so many divorces, right? That's why we have so many marriages that end, right? Because people are so infatuated with the person that they want them to be and not the person that they actually are. Ooh, I'm going to say that again because somebody probably missed that. We're so infatuated and hung up on the person that we want them to be and not the person who they actually are. Get to know the person for who they actually are, right? Take your time, right? Really get to know them, right? Don't just think that just because they're the same race as you, that they will act like you and you can make them who you are. That's not how this works at all. And I know that the generation before was doing that they were saying, oh, this person is black and I'm black, so it ought to work out. That's not how any of that works. That's all a lie, right? Because the truth is that we're all different, right? Even people who are Christian, and you have two Christians, right? One Christian may believe a certain thing and then another Christian may believe another thing, right? Maybe two people who are Muslim, one Muslim might believe something, then the other may not be on the same page as the other. So what I'm saying, guys, is really get to know people for who they are. This is how you find your people, right? And this is how you find where your fit is, right? Some people it takes a little bit longer. Some people it's a bit quicker for them, but that's where you need to find your people, right? And that's why you need to do your due diligence as well, right? If it takes you some time, it takes you however much time, right? That's why you need to take things slow, right? Especially in this day and age, where there are a lot of people out there who don't enter relationships for the same reasons that you do. That's why you need to get to know people slow, right? What I'm also saying is test people. Well, I'm not saying test them like the narcissist does. What I'm saying is see how people are when things get hard, right? Will they show up? Are they who they say that they are when things get hard? When things get hard, do they start throwing temper tantrums? Do they start getting angry? Do they start pointing the finger and blaming it on other people and saying that, oh, it's this person's fault or it's that person's fault? Do they get closed off? Do they stop responding? Do they react instead of responding? Do they have boundaries? That's another thing. Do they have boundaries? So what I'm saying is do your reconnaissance, get to know people, find your people, right? Because we're all different, right? What you like in somebody else, another person may not like in somebody else, right? So that's why I'm saying it's really important to really get to know people for who they are. And that's what the narcissist doesn't want. The narcissist does not want you to get to know them, because if you do get to know them, then you will know that they're a nasty person, that they're a liar, they're a cheater, they're a deceiver, they are empty to their core. That's why they need to get into relationships with people to fast, because they want a host. They want somebody who they can latch onto, right? For whatever period of time they decide. Maybe it's a week, maybe it's just a day, maybe it's a month, maybe it's a year. However long the narcissist decides, it's all dependent on what supply you offer the narcissist. Now, get this, I don't see you as supply, right? And normal human beings don't see each other as supply. But narcissists, they see everything and everyone as supply. We are all replaceable when it comes down to narcissistic people, right? right? And that is because narcissists are never satisfied. Narcissists don't see people as normal human beings. Narcissists see people as supplies that they can take advantage of. Narcissists can throw people and relationships away just like that because narcissists don't care. They're empty to their core, and they can't care. They can't love anyone, right? Because they don't have love. They have a disorder within their brain that where the empathy part of their brain is missing, and that means that they cannot empathize with people, right? That's why you have different types of people. You have narcissists. You have people who are in between. You have people who are toxic, who may just have a challenge but they're not narcissists. They don't manipulate. They don't just throw relationships away just like that. They can resolve. Narcissists cannot resolve anything with anyone because narcissists always believe that they are never wrong and that everybody else is wrong and that everybody else is doing what they're doing. That's why everything is a no-win situation with narcissists, because they believe that they have to be better than everybody else. And if anyone is better than them, which usually they know most people are better than them, then what they do is they find every reason in the book to hate that person, right? So what I'm saying, guys, is you are going to have to find your people, right? And take it, like I said, for the last part of this video, take your time. Don't rush. Take things slow, especially in this day and age where people are in a rush to get with people, right? Take your time, right? If things seem to be going too fast, pull it back a little bit. Pull back a little bit and say, hold on a second. And then get to know this person for who they are, right? And again, get to see how this person is when times are tough. Are they willing to compromise? Are they willing to have a conversation and resolve things? Or are they just willing to always be right about everything? Or are they willing to always just want to blame it on other people and not want to take the blame on themselves? If that's the case, then that is a huge red flag. That is a very, very huge red flag. If they can't even take accountability for the most smallest things, that is a huge red flag. If they just blow up at you, that's your malignant narcissist right there, where they just blow up and they just start smashing their fist on the desk, or they just get act. Now, hold on a second. I'm not saying everybody that smashes their fist on is a malignant narcissist, because sometimes people, they get impatient and then they come around, they say, look, I'm sorry for how I acted. That's a normal, stable, healthy person that knows how to apologize. Narcissists, on the other hand, they will smash their hands on a desk or something like that, and then they won't apologize. They will act as if nothing happened, and then they'll say, oh, you were the one that got me mad. If you didn't do this, then I wouldn't do that. If you didn't act like this, I wouldn't have. So narcissists, they're always looking for an excuse. They will always make excuses for their behavior. They will never own up and say, look, I'm sorry for what I did. I'll never do it again. I got a little bit impatient there. I got a little carried away there. That's not me. Sometimes that happens, but I'm sorry. If they apologize, then you know that you're doing the healthy, stable person, because we're not perfect. We all make mistakes. But what separates a healthy person from an unstable person or a narcissist is that healthy people apologize. They know when they're wrong. They know when they've done somebody wrong, and they make it right with that person. But narcissists, they believe that they have a God complex, a superiority complex, where they have to be all the way up here and everybody else is down there. When it's the opposite, that you are all the way up here and the narcissist is all the way down there, right? So understand this, guys. You will have to find your people, right? Find your people, right? Not everybody is who they say that they are. Not everybody is for you. Just because that person has 1,000 followers on Instagram or has a lot of friends on Facebook, and let's say that you're their friend, doesn't mean that they are for you. Just because somebody is, just because she's so beautiful and so attractive and she wears her makeup and she's beautiful and she's all that, doesn't mean that she's for you, right? Just because he's 6'4" and he has a job and he has a lot of money and he's all that, doesn't mean that he's for you, right? You need to get to know people for who they are, right? Don't just rush in and think that that person is it just because that person is, again, I need to say this because this is really important. Just because that person is the same race as you or the same social status as you, it doesn't mean necessarily that they are for you. Get to know them for who they are. You will need to find your people, right? Maybe your people are people who are a little bit different than you are, right? So what I'm saying is find your people. For this video, you will need to find your people. So thank you guys so much for joining me here today on Narcissism 101 Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. Like I said before, if you would like a one-on-one session, please email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com, or please send a text message to 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you need some more advice, if you have some more questions for me about some of my videos or some of the content, please feel free to reach out. But like I said again, if you want to call, please don't just call, because if you just call, I may just block and delete the number because I don't just answer random numbers. Just send a text. Let me know who you are. Let me know your name. Let me know that you've been watching my videos, just so that I know that it's you, and then we can get you the help that you need. All right? So thank you so much for being here today with me. I hope to see you on the next video. Please like, subscribe, and share it with somebody who you think could use the knowledge. Please also watch the link, because I put a link down below on the podcast that I spoke on about my narcissistic experience. Please feel free to watch that video, share it with somebody else, and yeah, thank you so much again for joining me here. Please comment if you can understand what I'm talking about, and thank you so much for being here again. I hope to see you on the next video. Thank you.